Perfect, thank you very much for joining me. Yes, my name is Sean and you are watching MLS Ireland Does Predictions. This is week 14 or 15 or 16, I can't remember because there's so many weird time things. Just stay tuned. Perfect, thank you very much for joining me. Yes, this is my predictions, and if you're new to this, hit that subscribe button. It would probably mean quite a bit to me, thanks anyway. I'm on Twitter and all that kind of jazz. So if you're new to this, thank you very much. This is predictions. I was off last week, even though there was like 4 games on, which didn't really make any sense, even though it was the international season. And now they're back again, so 14 games. So yeah, well, might as well crack on. Seattle against LAFC. Seattle now, who played during the week, they won 4-0 against Vancouver, which was probably, you would suspect that because Vancouver are strange. But, Seattle are probably losing a lot of players through the international, so you kind of suspect it anyway. Not a bad game. They're coming up against an LAFC team who are very similar to in form of them. They're 4 wins and 2 defeats each, home and away. Seattle at home, Los Angeles away. A trickier one. Granted that Seattle won last night, 4-0, or 2 nights ago, 1 night ago, can't remember, long time ago. Which is actually starting to put them up the table quite nicely. They're in the 13th place. Only lost 2 in the last 6 against Colorado, which is it's not a bad loss to be fair, and against Dallas, who surprises many of the teams. So coming against an LAFC team who are top of the league, won their last 2 against Columbus Crew and San Jose. These were games that you would expect them to win, to be fair. And now they're coming up against probably an informed Seattle team. I'm going to go for like a 2-1 win, just because of the fact that Seattle are kind of informed. They've got their players back, and now they've got no Champions League to worry about, basically. So yeah, and LAFC, I want to see Chiellini, what he's like. So I'm looking forward to that. The next one is the Galaxy against Portland Timbers, which is going to be on TV here, and which I'm kind of looking forward to because it's going to be on a good time. Saying that, LA Galaxy started off the season quite well, then hit a rock. They won the last game against Austin, who are 6th, which is not bad overall. 4th in the Western. Sorry. Coming up against the Portland Timbers team, who are basically all over the place. Only won 3 games this season and lost their last 3 games against Inter, Philadelphia, and San Jose Earthquakes. Like getting beat by San Jose Earthquakes after beating Sporting Kansas City 7-2. It's a bit of an interesting one. They're coming up against an LA Galaxy team who are, like I said, started out the season quite well, but then kind of just went all over the place. It is going to be a weird one. I do think Galaxy probably should win this one. I'm going to go for like a 2-0 win, just for the fact is Portland are... This is probably a game where you go, Portland probably may win this one. And then that's when you go, yeah, they're not going to win this one. Even though, I don't know why, but I always pick a team. I don't know why I put on a shirt of the team that I always predict to lose. Don't know why that is. Strange. Anyway, 2-0. The next one is New York Red Bull against Toronto. Now, Toronto, who started the season very, very badly. Very, very badly. Won the last game against Chicago at home, and the last away game was against DC United, and that was a 2-2. Now, like I said, they're coming up against a Red Bull team who, like them, are dreadful at the moment. At home, anyway. They've only won the last game. New York Red Bulls, granted, that was their last home game. That was against DC United 4-1. But their home record, that was their only win this season at home. Their away wins have been more impressive. I think they won 5 away from home. Yeah, sure, this is MLS, go for it. They're coming up against a Toronto team who could probably beat a good team in a good day, or beat any team really in a good day, but I'm going to go for like a 1-1. I'm going to go safe in this one. A 1-1. Red Bulls at home should... Again, Toronto crap away from home, Red Bulls crap at home. That's my thinking. The next one is Montreal against Austin FC. Now, so and then they kind of done very well, and then got beaten by Nashville, then got beaten by Real Salt Lake, and then beaten Cincinnati, kind of got back on the track, coming up now against an Austin team who started the season very, very well, winning 5-0 every direction, and then had a break when they, like I said, fought teams now that are kind of above them or in the top half of the league. So they're coming up against the Montreal team, who is 8th. So it's a trickier one. I'm going to go for like a 2-all. I think Austin have the capabilities of scoring goals, but I think Montreal at home probably have a wee bit too much for them. But I'm going to stick with this. I'm going to stick with a 2-all. I think Austin, getting back into the rhythm of things, may just get this one result over the line. So I'm going to go for like a 1-all. The next one is Columbus Crew against Charlotte. Charlotte very good at home. Charlotte very bad away. Granted, they've won their last 2 away games, which isn't too bad, but no, they haven't. Sorry, they haven't won a game away from home yet. Sorry about that. And they're coming up against the Columbus Crew team, who have won 3 and lost 3 at home. MLS again, trickier to predict these bloody things. Whereas Columbus Crew, yeah. Their last home win was against DC United. They got beaten by LAFC the last time they were at home. Now they're coming up against the Charlotte team. Like I said, haven't won a game, so I'm going to go for like a 1-all. I think Columbus Crew don't really have enough in them to really get a good result out of this, even though they beat Atlanta 2-1. They're 2 fucking weeks ago. In the May, 20th of May. Jesus Christ, that's a long time ago. Anyway, the next one is Orlando against Houston. Orlando were playing there not so long ago, I believe. 2 days ago, and they drew against New England away from home. Their last away win was against Charlotte, and that was the 30th of April. And their last home game was a defeat against Dallas. So they're coming up against the Houston team, who are in the last 6, 1-2, and then lost the rest. Strange. 2 strange ratings. Yeah. That makes sense. Orlando, 3 wins at home, 4 losses. Houston, 3 wins away, 4 losses. So, at home, Orlando, 2-0. I think that's probably fair. It could possibly be a 2-1, but I'm going to go for like a 2-0. I think Orlando Houston's, they're better than Houston, to be fair. I'll just go with that. The next one is Philadelphia against Cincinnati. Cincinnati started off the season poorly, kind of got into the swing of things, and then started playing very well away from home. Their record isn't too bad. They are 15th in the league. They lost, granted, their last 2 games against Montreal and New England. New England starting to get back into things, which isn't, that's not too bad. And then they got beaten away against Montreal. Like I said, Montreal are a strange team of the season. It's kind of like Thierry Henry was kind of holding them back. It's not my words, but not somebody's words. Philadelphia, a strange team. Only won the 1 in the last 6, drew the rest, as you do. Only lost the 1 game this season, to be fair, but drew 7 and won 6. So a very strange team. But coming up against the Cincinnati team, I'm going to go for like a 2-1 win. Philadelphia should get this one over the line. Cincinnati are good, hence why I do think they're probably going to score first or equalise. But I think Philadelphia are going to get the last goal in that one, that's for sure. So 2-1 win to Philadelphia. The next one is Chicago Fire against DC United. Chicago Fire, who are bottom. Yep, bottom. Jesus, that's bad. 2 wins out of 14. Granted, they have 2 games on Sporting Kansas City. Then the team above us, DC United, who have 13 games. Jesus, Sporting Kansas City, your season is done. Anyway, Chicago Fire against DC United. 2 teams in the bottom, with games to make up on the teams above them, I suppose. So I'm gonna go for like a 1-all. I don't think these 2 teams. I think Chicago Fire probably have the better player. DC United but DC United are a better team. If that makes any sense, it could possibly be like a 0-0, but I'm gonna go for like a 1-all on this one. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with my 1-all. The next one is Dallas against Vancouver. Vancouver got beaten, like I said, 2 nights ago against Seattle 4-0. Coming against the DC United team who've beaten Seattle. So this is where my thinking goes. I'm gonna go for like a 2-0 win to Dallas, just for the fact that Dallas are 3rd in the league and they're doing very, very well. Only conceded 13, scored 24, which is pretty impressive. I think they're they're up there in the goal scoring and up there in the goals conceding. So congratulations to them. So yeah, they're a very young team, so 2-0 to them. The next one is Real Salt Lake against San Jose Earthquakes. Now, every time I come against San Jose Earthquakes, I always go, yeah, they're going to get beat. Then I come up against, then I look where Real Salt Lake is, I go, yeah, they're probably going to get beat. Then I look at Real Salt Lake is 5th in the league, lost 4 all season, which is pretty impressive. Won 7, better than Philadelphia, in 15 games. Conceded 19, granted, and then scored 18. So they're probably the only team in the top 10 with a minus, which is very strange. So I'm going to go for, saying that, I'm going to go for a Real Salt Lake 1-2-1 to get that goal difference to 0, which is going to be impressive. Yeah, so I'm going to go for like a 2-1 win to Real Salt Lake. As again, a team that I can't get to watch over here because they're never on bloody TV. So I'm going to stick with that one. The next one is Atlanta against Inter. This one's always going to be on TV because it's Inter. They're never off the booking thing. So, yes. Atlanta are a strange team at the moment. They are 22nd overall. They got beaten by Columbus, drew against Nashville, drew against New England, and beat Chicago. So, and their last game they played against Inter was on the 24th of April, and that was in Miami, and that was a 2-1 win to Inter. So this one's going to be an interesting one. I think Atlanta at home should probably get a good result out of this one, but I don't think they're good enough. So I'm going to go for like a 1-0. It's going to be it is going to be a weird game. I think Inter have basically said to Higuain now, like, you're not the starter anymore, and I think Inter are more balanced because of that. But because I think Inter haven't done very well in their last 6. Drew 2, lost 2, and won 2. Granted, they won their last 2 against New York and Portland. Games you'd probably expect them against 2 very sporadic teams. So yeah, I'm going to go for like a 1-1. The next one is New England Revolution. Against Minnesota. Minnesota have only won 1 in the last, and that was against Dallas, which was quite surprisingly. Got beaten by New York City FC on the 29th of May. Drew against LA Galaxy. Got beaten by Seattle, Cincinnati, LAFC. Not great. And then where are New England up to 12th? Wow. Lost 5, drew 5. This is very strange. Drew 5, lost 5, scored 25, and conceded 25, and have 20 points. So that's all going to change. I'm going for like a 2-1 win to New England. They're at home and they're finally starting to get things clicking, and I do believe it's going to be a good result for them. 2-1. Then, and the second last one is New York City FC against Colorado Rapids. Again, another team, Colorado, I would like to watch more often, but they're never on fucking TV here. They're coming up against New York City FC team, who are second and have just lost their manager. This is one I don't think many, well, actually, quite surprising. Don't know why he left, and it was quite abrupt leaving, if I don't say so myself. It's just basically, it's like, yes, right lads, I'm off. That kind of thing, if you know what I mean. So it's going to be an interesting one. I know they still have a good caretaker manager, who's kind of worked with them, and they're going to be coming up against the Colorado Rapids, who are 18th. One loss, basically in their last 6 games. So not very good. Their away record in the last ones was not really great either. So they're coming against a very good New York City FC team. So I'm going to go for like a 2-0 until about 2 weeks' time, where New York City probably start to plummet when they've sold all their good players. It's probably the reason why Ronnie is probably left, because he knew their team was going to get butchered. So I'm going to go for like a 2-0. The next one is the last one is Nashville against Sporting Kansas City. Sporting Kansas City are bottom, should be effectively bottom of the league at the moment. They're atrocious at the moment. They've only won the 3 games out of 16. They're going to Nashville, who are a very good team, granted. Starting to concede more than I think they would really rather have, but I think it's going to be okay against Sporting Kansas City. I'm going to go for like a 1-0 to Nashville, just for the fact is Sporting Kansas City aren't in a great place at the moment, which is sad to see because they have a very good fan base and very good players, good manager too. So those were my predictions. Hope you enjoyed them, and I hope to God, as I said, if you have made it this far, hit that subscribe button, all that kind of jazz. I have a Patreon if you want, I don't care, all that kind of stuff. So I hope to see you on the next one. So toodaloos next week. Bye.